Hey everybody, I'm the Ranting Monkey, and with me as always is Scribe. Say hi, Scribe.
Hi, Scribe.
The lovely SDA is here. Say hi, SDA.
ISDA.
And we're starting early just because I can.
Yay.
We've been here
Yay.
for like 30 minutes.
Are you whining about that?
No, I'm just
Okay.
letting them know that we were on time and punctual. Is there a problem with that?
Well, this is actually funny because she did give me shit because I sent the link earlier than I normally do.
You can't prove that.
I can't. I should have OBS that shit.
Yeah,
Anyhow.
you should have, but you didn't, so here we are.
In the news, you want to kick us off there with that?
Sure. Let's start with the wonderful world of Sean Spicer. And
Oh, yay.
misspeaking when he's speaking, which is
That dude's a
mostly when he's
moron.
speaking. Here's from CNN. White House press secretary Sean Spicer apologized Tuesday after saying Adolf Hitler, quote, didn't even sink to using chemical weapons, unquote, during World War II.
Tell me he didn't say that out loud.
He did say that during World War II in an effort to shame Russia's alliance with Syrian President Bashar al-Assad and his use of chemical weapons. The comment was immediately decried, and after a series of attempts to clear up his words, Spicer apologized in an exclusive interview with CNN's Wolf Blitzer. Quote, I was obviously trying to make a point about the heinous acts that Assad has made against his own people last week using chemical weapons and gas. Frankly, I mistakenly made an inappropriate and insensitive reference to the Holocaust for which there is no comparison. Okay.
Hitler didn't do nothing.
But didn't Hitler gas the Jews?
Well, yeah, there's that whole Zyklon B thing. So
aren't those chemical weapons?
Well,
yes, they are.
Technically,
not in combat. Not in combat,
exactly.
Technically.
Yeah, but
not out on the field.
That's a worse use of chemical
weapons.
Yeah.
You round them all up and put them into a little building and gas them in there. It's much nicer.
See, now if he had said, it wouldn't have necessarily made it any better, but if he had added in combat to his comment, he might have been able to wiggle out of it a little bit.
Oh, it was such a stupid fucking thing to say.
It was such a stupid thing to be, in the first
place.
Well,
I said months ago that we should get rid of Sean Spicer, but that's okay.
Because he's a fucking moron.
Well, here's the other thing too. This falls into a very sort of classic pattern now, where we take the dictator of the week and make him worse than Hitler. I mean, Saddam was worse than Hitler. I mean, we've done this all the time. You know, Noriega was worse than Hitler. So now
Trump is worse than Hitler.
Trump is worse than Hitler, exactly. So now we have to make Bashar al-Assad worse than Hitler. And so how is he worse than Hitler? Oh, well, I mean, not even Hitler used
not even Hitler.
Not even Hitler did this bad.
Well, he's got a point about not using chemical weapons.
Yes.
But he's chemical. I mean, it would be classified as chemical warfare in my book.
Yes.
To fucking kill a whole bunch of people. So I don't think he was actually, because the Anne Frank, whatever, what is it called? The Anne Frank Museum? Are they the ones bitching about it?
Oh, I'm sure they are.
I don't know, somebody obsessed with Jews.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
But he needs to be fired immediately. He's denying the Holocaust. He wasn't denying the Holocaust.
No.
He was just showing that he is a complete buffoon. He's a fucking moron.
Yeah. So anyway, that was the complete scandalous non-news of the day, because honestly, if Sean Spicer misspeaks, it's not exactly news.
Well, it's not just that he misspoke, because that was bad enough. He tried to explain it away like 3 times before he finally just fucking apologized.
Yeah, Sean Spicer should probably not be the communications director or press secretary anymore, because I was hoping when the election was still ramping up, I was hoping that Milo Yiannopoulos would become press secretary. But
that
I was actually talking to Alum about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and what he said was that he thinks that they were actually sitting on that whole "oh my God, he's a pedophile" scandal.
Oh yeah.
In case that happened.
Oh,
I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think Sean Spicer's days as press secretary are numbered. He probably won't last. He might make it through this year, and then around the turn of the year, they might have a staff change. If it's earlier than that, I wouldn't be surprised, but I would kind of be surprised if they would change this early into the campaign.
At this point, if he makes it the week, I'll be surprised.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think he lasts because of loyalty to Trump. I think Trump will, given what Trump has said, I think that Sean Spicer has a little bit of leeway on this one. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see because
or he resigns. You think he resigns to save face?
I don't
that
think
would be-
honestly, I don't think anything changes.
You don't think so?
No.
Yeah, I could see it going either way, I guess. I just, I don't know. Can he come back from this one being as bad? I guess we'll see.
I don't know. I mean, what was like one of the original controversies he was involved in? He's like said so much fucking dumb shit. I can't even remember.
Well, that's the thing. He said a lot of things.
So yeah, I don't. Oh yeah, he was like obsessed with the dick measuring contest about the inauguration.
Oh yes, over.
And he like
how many
fucking
people showed
doubled
up.
down on all that shit when he could have just been like, oh well, there was a story that we took out Martin Luther King's bust of the Oval Office, and
right.
we didn't, and that was fucked up, and fuck you guys. He could have gone that route, but instead he was like, also Trump's dick is bigger, and
Yeah,
it was like you could have made like everybody, you could have made the press look like a bunch of fucking assholes, but instead this is old news, I'm sorry, but this, like, he's been fucking dumb for a long time, and he's
not a
bad,
great speaker.
and he's a bad press secretary. Like, this is supposed to be his job, is saving face, and for whatever reason we always have to come back and explain away something fucking stupid the guy who's supposed to be good at, not being stupid in public. So
I just don't see how you get that job and make those mistakes, especially this latest one, because that's just so tone deaf. I mean, he had to know that was going to come back and bite him in the ass, and then not to just fucking apologize immediately.
No, bringing up Hitler at all. I mean, it's such a tired thing to do when talking about other dictators because it's so lame to begin with. But just, yeah, I mean, unless, I don't know. The guy, I had a little bit of empathy for the guy in the beginning because he was having to field a whole bunch of shit that was kind of hyperbolic, and he handled some things well, I thought, because I used to watch, in the early weeks of the administration, I used to watch the press secretary meetings just about every day, just because I was curious as to what was going on and what the latest hubbub was, and especially if Trump decided to come out and play hockey, so to speak, with the press again and call them names and stuff. That's always funny.
Right.
But lately, yeah, he's just fumbling over his words and saying stupid shit, and I mean, at the end of the day, he's pretty much just like every other press secretary I've ever seen, where he's sort of bobs and dodges and weaves around real questions. But this is just, yeah, pretty bad.
Yeah. Trump can get away with talking like that because he's Trump. He can say stupid shit. But your job, like SDA said, your job is to fucking speak to the press in a way that makes your administration look good.
Right.
And yeah, he bungled the fuck out of that one.
Let's see. I have a second smaller story. Oh wait, sorry.
Tommy Lauren and the Blaze.
The Blaze.
The Blaze.
Tommy Lauren is suing the Blaze for wrongful termination, even though she hasn't been terminated yet.
Technically.
Well, she's still being paid, so
exactly. She's been suspended indefinitely, and she's still being paid, but she's suing them for wrongful termination.
Well, because basically they still have her. They kind of are holding her hostage.
Yeah, they still have under contract.
Yeah,
it's a contract.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Ask Kesha how that works out.
Oh yeah, Kesha. Whatever happened with that? Did she win anything or
no?
No, she lost.
Yeah, she lost.
She signed a fucking contract.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, that's just it. Like, there's nothing that they can really do.
Time out. Mr. United asked what she got suspended for. She went on The View and said that she's pro-choice. That's what she got suspended for.
Yeah.
Which is fucked up, and maybe they're like, you can't just suspend me because of things I disagree. I don't know.
Well, let's see, if they hold her to her contract but don't give her a show, but they're not violating the contract by suspending her, then they get to hold on to her and she can't go to another job without violating some kind of non-compete, probably, until her contract runs out. And then after the contract runs out, she can't sue them for wrongful termination because she was never terminated. So I think the Blaze is being a douchebag, but they're probably not in the wrong legally.
Right. And she only has to wait till September. Her contract's over in
Well-
September.
Oh,
Sit
it's
down.
only that short? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can you sue somebody for being a douche nozzle?
Not really. Well, the only thing they could do, the only thing she might be able to get away with, or at least the only argument she could make, I don't know if she'd get away with it, would be something like defamation of character or some kind of thing where they've irrevocably harmed her reputation by doing this to her and sort of holding her in this way and sort of letting
Which
her.
they haven't. They've made her a martyr, which helps.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like this is a pretty gray area as to what she could technically do. So I don't think her lawsuit is going to go through because on paper they haven't actually fired her, so she can't sue them for what they haven't done.
But then once
Better Red said that that they're suing the Blaze for breach of contract. Which again, I was about to say this anyway. It's all going to come down to what that contract
Right.
says.
Exactly. Does it have any clause in there that says that the Blaze has the ability to suspend her with pay at any time or something to that effect? If it does, then
Yeah.
she's out of luck.
yeah.
But it's funny.
Yeah, it's interesting. The little story I had, which is relatively short, but is a callback to some famous stuff we have talked about in the past. Rolling Stone settles defamation case with UVA administrator. Lawyers say Rolling Stone magazine and an administrator at the University of Virginia have reached a settlement in a defamation case over a story about an alleged gang rape on campus. The Washington Post reports the magazine reached the confidential settlement with former Associate Dean Nicole Aramo, who had sued, and the thing suddenly updated for some reason and fucked up my page. Why'd you do that? Let's move on. Okay, had sued Rolling Stone over a 2014 article, quote, a rape on campus, unquote. Aramo had alleged the botched article portrayed her as indifferent to victims of sexual assault. In November, a jury awarded Aramo $3 million after finding Rolling Stone and reporter Sabrina Rubin Erdely defamed her. The magazine filed a motion to vacate the judgment, but instead agreed to settle. So either for $3 million or less, I'm assuming, or maybe more to get it out of the way. Who knows? But yeah, Sabrina Rubin Erdely she should never really work again as a journalist, in my opinion. But that's just me.
No, I agree.
Is that the girl who broke the case?
Yeah, and the thing was, this wasn't the first story like this that she had done. She had done one a couple of years earlier regarding a alleged, and I underscore the word alleged, rape on a military base, I believe. And a lot of the elements to that story were similar to the UVA story in the sense that there was very sketchy evidence. The people that supposedly did this to the woman were never described or named, and so on and so on. So she's got a habit of getting stories that are questionable at best and trying to get them front page news, except in this case, the UVA one went viral, whereas the other one, I guess, kind of went under the radar.
So I have Bay asking us about the Danny Ali, is that her name?
Yeah, so I brought this up last night. You guys might not remember because you were half asleep. So there's a story about this 24-year-old girl who was attempting to flee to Australia for asylum away from her Saudi Arabian family who wanted to do horrible things to her or had been doing horrible things to her.
There's been an update that she supposedly stole money.
That is supposedly a hoax that was fabricated by the Saudis to sort of justify what they were doing.
Yes.
That's what Crowton T said in his update regarding the whole thing, because he showed evidence that it was a doctored statement or something like that. Now, whether or not that's
I was just saying that it's alleged that they faked that she did that. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was attempting to flee to Australia. She got held over in the Philippines, and the Filipino sort of customs agency or whatever held her there on behalf of her family and the Saudi government or Saudi interests until they showed up to take her back. So the Filipino customs or customs enforcement effectively held her or kidnapped her, held her basically not even hostage, just kind of kidnapped her and held her there. Family shows up, and she was saying in a little video that she posted that if they get her, they will probably kill her. And there were a whole bunch of people on Twitter saying she needs to be killed for the honor of the family, and et cetera, et cetera. Now, the Filipino government had posted a story. This is what I referenced last night because I wasn't sure because the hype was so much at the moment that I was looking at it. I thought, is this real or is this some kind of put on? Because I'm always very wary about internet stuff now, as most of us should be. But there was a story the Filipino government put out saying that they have no such person being held at the airport. So the government was saying this isn't happening. And so at first I was kind of like, well, then maybe this is some kind of put on or whatever. Well, it turns out the government was lying. They did, and there's a whole bunch of video and photos that show that she was there, and now she's back in the hands of her family. So it's possible.
That's awful.
Possibly even likely that something horrible is about to happen to this girl.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that anybody can do about it.
Apparently not, because the Philippines are willing to hold someone seeking asylum in order for a potentially dangerous group of people to come and pick them up, which is just fucked up.
How fucked up it is that a 24-year-old has to escape.
Yeah.
And I really don't understand why. I guess I do. Why she would go that route to get away? Why not just pop over to Europe?
Europe or the U.S. or something, yeah.
Yeah. And granted, that's not. I'm not trying to blame the victim here. Just.
Yeah, I don't know. It. Who knows? 24-year-old desperate. Maybe she had friends in Australia.
Well,
maybe she really wants to try dick bacon.
Oh, no.
It seems like it would be a little bit more difficult to get into Australia than, say...
You really want to bring up ham in relation to a Muslim? You jerk.
Too soon.
Jesus. Yeah, too soon. It hasn't even happened yet. She might still be alive, douchewad.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to burn in hell for that and so many other things, but I'm okay with it. Yeah. I feel bad for this girl. Last night, as you said, I didn't know what was going on with the story. I'd seen the hashtag, but
it was still developing at the time, and nobody was really sure what was going on. Yeah,
I watched Kraut's thing. I haven't seen Jeff Holliday's. I know he did a stream on it earlier today. But yeah, man, that's fucked up. And for the Philippines to just hold her like that.
Yeah, that part allegedly, I don't get that part.
Allegedly, the Philippine immigration, whoever it was that was holding her, actually watched as her uncles beat the shit out of her.
Holy shit.
Because, okay, so first and foremost, when she arrives in the Philippines, regardless of whatever her reasons for being there or whatever, I'm pretty sure, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but 24 is over the age of being an adult in the Philippines, I would think. Yeah. So she's an adult who is being held against her will by the Filipino government for what? I mean, if she was a child, if she was coming over like a 7-year-old or something.
Saying that one of her uncles is a diplomat of some sort. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Kraut mentioned that in his video.
Oh,
that one of her uncles is in part of the government in some way. But
that still doesn't even mean anything.
Yeah, exactly. She's fucking 24 years old.
Yeah, she's an independent adult, you would think, at least legally speaking.
Well, not in Saudi Arabia.
This is one of those things where it's like, okay, Saudi Arabia's culture may say X, but the rest of the Western world says Y, and so
she wasn't in the Western world when this happened.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is in the Philippines. I'm not as familiar.
Like, I'm not saying it's okay, but what I'm saying is that she wasn't in the Western world, so.
Well, that doesn't. Well, but
our superior culture does not apply.
Yeah, but the Philippines. I mean, I'm obviously showing my ignorance here. Are the Philippines somehow affiliated with Saudi Arabia in some way that would make that make sense, or what? Because it's kind of two different parts of the world.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hi, Mash. The other part that gets me is that what's being reported is that she was held on her family's request, not on an official government request.
Right.
Now, if that was the thing, if they were saying, she had stole something and the government wants to hold her to extradite her back, at least then I would go, okay, it's shitty, but I understand it.
Right.
Everything I've seen is her family requested her to come back.
Well, I guess that's why her uncle being a diplomat might matter.
Yeah, but even then, if it would be under an official capacity, it would still be the government saying it, not I mean,
Well, maybe it's because her uncle is a diplomat that they can be like, hey, the family wants her held, and it doesn't have to be under an official capacity. Like, it's dirty.
Being a diplomat doesn't
don't
give
know.
you any legal jurisdiction in that way. Or
I'm not
shouldn't.
saying that it was legal jurisdiction. I'm just saying that maybe they listened to him anyway.
yeah.
I guess.
I'm not saying that there was any sort of legal process that would allow them to do that. I don't think that there is.
I wonder what Riley Dennis thinks about this.
Oh God.
Apparently, Steve Shives has refused to condemn this whole thing because he doesn't want to agree with TJ. Faye, can you
Shives is
send
such
me
a
that?
dick.
Is that really true, or is that just something somebody said?
Well, I just
Better read.
asked. I believe her, but I just asked her to send it to me.
Better Red Than Dead said, "You're acting like these countries abide by a legal code." No, it's not that we're acting like that. It's that we wish they would.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Like I said, I don't know what goes on in the Philippines. I'm just curious as to what mechanisms made it so that the Philippines said this is what we need to do. I don't understand it. It's more like I don't believe it's not a thing that happened because it actually happened. I just would like to understand how this all was rationalized or legally or otherwise.
It was Jeff's stream, but Kraut sent Jeff the archives that showed that Steve does not want to condemn it because of The Amazing Atheist.
Steve doesn't want to condemn it because he's what all social justice warriors are. He's pro-Islam, little fucker.
This is the same kind of thinking that I see so much and so many other things. It's like if X person says or believes a certain way, then I am honor bound to disagree with them. It's the same thing that happened with like the Republicans and Obama. It's like if Obama says he wants to do it, we have to oppose it. It's the dumbest fucking sense of rationale I ever hear. It's like, no.
Well, it's the whole way the social justice side has become so pro-Islam. It makes no goddamn sense.
Yeah.
It makes no sense for especially ones who claim to be atheists to be so fucking
or feminists.
Yeah. Oh God. Thank you, Skaggles.
Or pro-LGBT or any of this stuff. It's like, oh, good Christ.
Yeah, it makes no sense for them to be bedfellows, but goddamn, they will defend them because the right doesn't, because George W. Bush started a war over in the Middle East.
Yeah, I mean they'll give Islam a pass, but if you ever bring up the Westboro Baptist Church, oh shit, those guys are the worst people on the planet. It's like,
all
do you
20 of them.
Yeah, it's like they just say mean things about gay people. They don't even like hurt them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a couple of douches.
Yeah, exactly.
And
that's what's so interesting about it. It's like, I know that they're dickwads, but they don't actually do anything.
Well, they're dickwads that won in a case in the Supreme Court of the United States to do what they're doing. It's a little known fact. They were taken to court for doing what they were doing at funerals and such.
Yep.
And the Supreme Court said, nope, that's free speech.
It is.
And I was like, and when that happened, I was like, you know what? I'm glad they won. I'm glad they won because if the worst of us can still speak their minds, and the rest of us are just as protected. That's all I wanted to say to them.
Well, they weren't saying anything bad about women.
What other story did you have, Scribe?
Oh, that was the UVA one, and
okay.
Spicer was it, unless something else has popped up here. We'll poke around a bit, but
we had the United Airlines thing.
Oh yeah, that just got worse and worse.
I made a video about it.
I saw that.
Oh, did you? I haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't even overbooked.
They
weren't overbooked. Yeah, they said that, and then it came out a couple of hours ago, and nobody, because everybody had already made their videos, so nobody caught that.
I missed that.
Yeah,
but that's why I made the video. They did not overbook the flight.
And here's the other thing, and the thing that really started pissing me off today is that some of the media outlets started looking into the guy's background to discredit him.
Yes.
I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. The guy could be a convicted bank robber, and it doesn't matter because how relevant was that to him paying for his ticket, sitting on the plane peaceably, and then being forced off against his will and bashed in the head? Got fucking shit to do with
Okay, so there was a screenshot. Sorry, that Bae just sent me a screenshot of Steve Shives. It says maybe one day atheist rape apologists maybe someday when atheist rape apologists don't have 1 million YouTube subs and sexual harassers aren't invited to conferences anymore.
Conferences?
Then he'll
like
what?
Atheist Plus kind of shit,
Oh,
isn't it?
fuck that guy. I fucking hate that dude.
Oh god.
That was just what he said in regards to the entire situation, which has nothing to do with anything.
Wait, which situation was he referring to?
This is
The the Muzzy situation.
Oh, the Jesus.
Muzzy.
God.
What?
Yep, this one's not getting monetized either. Okay.
Good job, Bay.
Back to United. I saw the story this afternoon where the CEO finally came out and strongly condemned it. And I noticed in that article they mentioned, because the guy who got yanked off the plane, I believe his name is Dow.
Mhm.
I didn't see how long ago, but many years ago, he was convicted for illegally prescribing drugs.
Right.
Big fucking deal. He wasn't doing it on the plane. It's not why they pulled him off the plane.
It doesn't matter. I mean,
but they were trying
what kind of shithole? Who digs that shit up and says, yes, let's run with that on this story?
Yeah, you want to talk about blaming the victim. I mean, what does one have to do? Like I said, the guy could have robbed a bank 20 years ago, and that has nothing to do with what happened to him on that plane. It's got and the fact that I forget who it was it was one of the more raggy newspapers that put it out that I saw first. I thought, well, this is about as low as you can get. This guy was a completely innocent person.
And my question is too, what motivation does a news outlet have to try to discredit
clicks
them like that? That doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
No, it makes perfect sense. Clicks. I mean, if they put out something like that and people think it's relevant and it's scandalous or whatever else, they will click. And if they click, they get ad revenue. Ta-da.
Yeah. It's fucked up.
Better read, the guy could have raped me 5 minutes before the flight. He was still a victim. Fair point. Absolutely.
There you go. I hadn't thought of it like that. Thanks, Red.
Well, that's this is sort of something that people who talk about rape cases actually sort of get right, is when like a woman is actually, there's somebody on trial for rape, and then they go into her past and they're like, well, this one time she was a slut. And it's like,
well, yeah.
It's like, well, what's your fucking point?
Yeah. Or like when they have a prostitute who charges someone with rape, and they're like, well, aren't you a prostitute? Doesn't matter. If it wasn't consensual, it's rape. I mean, if you can prove that it wasn't consensual, it's rape. In this situation, it's like the guys that pulled him off that plane had no idea who he was. He was randomly selected. It had nothing to do with anything he did in his past. Right. It was the fact that the computer said this guy.
But did you hear that the Chinamen are upset?
The Chinamen.
Chinamen.
Good God, I think I say some antiquated things. Holy shit.
Where the hell did you even learn Chinaman?
Yeah, tell us about the Chinamen.
They're upset. The Chinesies are upset.
The Chinese.
Oh, fuck. Oh, man.
Something I said.
The Chineses of Nazareth? What?
The views expressed by SDA are not necessarily those of the Ranting Monkey. Well, I'd imagine they would be.
They're upset because he was also Chinese's, and they're like, it was racist.
Chineses. Oh,
that was finally got my
sound
point
like Gollum. Okay.
Who sounds like Gollum?
She does. Chineses.
Stupid fat hobbits.
Now say Chineses in that voice.
Chineses.
See? Mashishu said, hey, Ranting Monkey, I kid you not, but during Roaming Millennials live stream earlier, that guy T said the alt-right is an ethnic group.
That's good to know. Now they're marginalized, you see.
Oh, for fuck's sake, this world.
The alt-right is a marginalized ethnic group.
Oh, my God.
Just wait. Just wait.
All right. Moving on.
Was there something wrong with something that I said?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
There was something. Oh, we were going to talk about your conversation with the douchebag from TYT.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, this is your story, dear.
Yeah, Michael Tracy.
Who's Michael Tracy? For anybody who doesn't know,
he is okay. So what happened to Michael Tracy? Just some backstory was he worked for Vice, and he's the one who broke the story that Lena Dunham did not vote. and that's him. Then he got fired from Vice and picked up by TYT.
Well, she did not vote in the primary, correct?
Yeah, she didn't vote in the primary.
Right, even though she claimed that she had for Hillary and all that, he proved that she didn't by the
yes,
registration
because
rules.
by the registration rules, because she hadn't changed her party and all that kind of stuff. She did not vote in the New York primary. So now he works for TYT. Anyway, so in his speech, he was also in El Paso. And in his speech in El Paso, he criticized the right-wing YouTubers, so us basically, of going for low-hanging fruit when we make our videos and respond to social justice arguments. And
which I do agree with, because I've made several TYT videos.
And the point that I was making was that Riley Dennis, Lacey Green, they get paid to go speak at schools. They charge speaking fees. They're backed by big media corporations. They are hailed by the social justice warriors as the arbiters of truth. So I personally don't consider them to be some sort of off limits. You know, if you're going for this, then you're not going for the most robust feminist arguments. They're the most popular, and by popular demand, essentially the most robust feminist arguments. So I think it's bullshit for him to say that, you know, it's not valid to go after these people because they're not smart. Your people just aren't smart, sweetheart. It's not my fault.
The problem is the low-hanging fruit in this equation is their ideology, not who's speaking.
Exactly. And that's my point, is that you can say that these targets are easy, but it's not my fault that your ideology is that fucking dumb.
Well, I've heard this low-hanging fruit thing many, many times. And even if you're talking about a bedroom feminist, it's not some bedroom feminist who sat there and came up with these ideas all on their own. We were talking before the stream, and I brought up the white-haired bedroom feminist that Bering made the video on that caused so many problems. And what she said in that stream, or in her video, was that a woman is raped every 6 seconds in the United States, which is absolutely wrong. The statistic that she meant to say was every 6 minutes, but she didn't even get it wrong herself. She got it wrong because she was getting it from BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed put up an article that actually said that. And I had to argue that with feminists many times, because they're like, no, you can't say that she's wrong. She just messed up. And I'm like, no, you're missing the point. BuzzFeed fucked this up. BuzzFeed, a website that is read by millions of people, put that out there. And to this day, 3 years after they've released that article, they still have not fucking corrected it. The low-hanging fruit is the entire SJW world.
Yeah.
None of them are at the top of the fucking tree. Unless it's a bonsai tree.
Well, and that's just my point, is that you can criticize us for not, you know, finding smarter people to talk about, but you don't give me much to work with in the first place, so.
Well, they give me a lot to work with.
Well, that's like, you know, when Christy Winters is like the most robust feminist arguments. I'm like, are you talking about you? Because you're an idiot too.
I'm still waiting to hear what these robust feminist arguments are, because I haven't heard any.
That's because there are none.
Yeah, wage gap. Morons.
And that's the exact issue with trying to find better arguments. Because he was like, get arguments that really challenge you. I'm like, then make some arguments that are challenging, you Nimrod.
Yeah, that was like the last video I did where, you know, so she's protesting about white privilege, and I made a joke about the whole Band-Aid thing. If you don't know, one of the white privileges identified by Peggy McIntosh in her Unpacking the Invisible Knapsack, I think it's number 36, is that Band-Aids are color toned to match white people's skin. And that is supposedly an example of white privilege. And I made a joke about it in this video before she brought up her examples of white privilege. And the very first one she breaks up is the Band-Aids. And I just about lost it. I was just like, holy shit. And the next one was, oh, you know, when you see something that's colored nude, well, whose kind of nude is it? Like, you've got to be kidding me. Nude is a color. It's a name of a color. It's not, oh, for God's sakes. And it's like, I'm watching this, I'm thinking, this is the best you've got. This is your opening argument to prove your point. Why
Well,
are
that's
you on a
just-
stage? I don't
Yeah,
understand
that's
this.
just it. You know, these are the people who are being paid to go give TED Talks, to talk at universities. These are
Yeah.
your most robust people, and they all suck. Maybe it's because your side is just wrong about things.
I wish
I
I
mean-
could get paid to go talk at a university. I mean, I could come up with something better than that in about 5 minutes.
Well, that's just
Yes,
why
I-
it's so. That's why it's silly to say, you know, you're just not looking for better arguments. It's like, no, your side just needs to make them. Give me better arguments to deal with, and I'll make, you know, and we can have a chat. But so you guys get your shit together. What do you like, what do you want from me?
They make Band-Aids that are see-through.
Well, I said to somebody in one of the comments today when they were talking about it, I said, you know, when I was a kid, I guess the Band-Aid companies must have assumed my entire body was covered in tiny tattoos of the Care Bears.
Right.
Because, I mean, yeah, and they also make Band-Aids that are like this bright neon blue to be used in like food service. Because if your Band-Aid comes off in the middle of food service, you got to be able to spot it to get it out there and throw the food away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So anyway,
That's
whatever.
racist against blue people.
That's racist
Yeah.
against Smurfs.
Yeah, if you're you know, I'm sure people know this that have worked in food, but like if you I think it's like against health regulations that if you have a Band-Aid and it's like, you know, not a bright color, I think that's against health regulations.
Something like that. Yeah, depending on where you're at. Anyway, what else is going on in
Yeah.
the world?
Oh, Rogue One. Let's have a chat.
Oh, yes.
Ah,
Apparently,
sucked.
Monkey has finally seen Rogue One. I saw it when it first came
Well-
out in the theater.
I saw it.
let me qualify that. I've seen
Okay.
bits and pieces of Rogue One. I made up a lot of the dialogue myself because Grand Monkey was being rather loud today.
You didn't miss
Um,
anything in the dialogue area.
It didn't seem like I did. I did enjoy the last 15 minutes of the movie
Yes,
or so.
that's the best part of the whole movie.
That was
and
awesome.
and the Darth Vader part was good.
Yeah, Darth Vader part was
No,
worth the price of admission by itself.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I have a
That was
problem with the Darth
only-
Vader parts.
Why? That was
Because
the only
the ship pulls away. They are in outer fucking space,
Yeah.
and there's wind blowing against his cape, and he
yeah.
doesn't get sucked into the vacuum of space. How the fuck?
Hold on. Do you remember the very first Star Wars movie? I'm talking about Episode 4.
Yes,
Okay. You remember when the Millennium Falcon was pulled into the Death Star?
yes.
Okay. Remember that giant window looking out onto space that they were pulled in at, and how everybody's
Yeah.
walking around there without being sucked down? So yeah, force field, yo, force field.
No, that's a shit. You don't see wind blowing them.
Was it
And
Was
where in
it
the fuck
wind
is there
or was
wind
it-
in space?
was it wind or was it the air recompression of the ship after the?
Don't
force
try to
field?
make this better.
Hey, I don't know what to tell you. Having his cape blowing dramatically in the wind was better than nothing.
It looked gay. And what was with the dude
You're
running around in a
gay.
cape? What was with the dude running around in a cape the whole time?
Oh,
Since when do
Krennic.
Imperial officers run around with a cape?
Well, because he was an arrogant bastard, really. That's why.
No, just no. He doesn't get a cape.
Well, he got a cape.
No,
I
he
didn't.
didn't.
I didn't have a problem with Krennic.
He
all
got a
that much.
gay blankie tied around his neck.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, all right. So aside from that,
the Darth Vader scene was fucking cool.
yeah, it was. It
It
was
was
badass.
fun.
It was.
It made it worth it. I was
Yeah.
like, I can forgive the rest of the movie's bullshit
Yeah,
because of Darth
watching Vader bust out like that, which we've never seen Vader go full bore on a group of people. We've seen him do his lightsaber fights and like sort of intimidate people and stuff, but seeing him in battle, this really, really makes me want to see a Darth Vader movie.
Same.
It's going to spin off.
I actually mentioned to my son as that was on, I was like, that is the most brutal Vader has ever been.
Yes,
And it was awesome.
it was amazing.
It was the
so
best.
happy, so happy. But what about the rest of the movie, Monkey? Because you've seen it now for the first time. SD and I have
Well,
seen it for a
one
while
thing
back.
that I liked, having watched the
Since
Clone
I was talking to
Wars-
Monkey, you should talk to it.
That's fine. One thing that
Jesus
that,
Christ!
that I liked because of watching the Clone Wars was that Saul Guerrero was in it, and I was like, I know who that is and why he's here.
Well, yes. Okay.
It made me feel super nerdy. Anyway,
Okay. There you go. Monkey. Proceed.
I didn't even hear the question.
I was just what was your overall opinion of what you did see?
The acting was horrible.
Mm-hmm. Twice.
Who in particular?
The whole fucking cast.
Okay.
They've gone to this. This is one of the things that pisses me off anytime somebody wants to make a dramatic song or dramatic movie. They'll fucking whisper. There's ways to be dramatic that besides whispering. But the lead chick, I don't even know her name.
Felicity
that's how
Jones.
much. Yeah, whatever. Every scene I saw of her, she looked like somebody farted after she asked them not to. Every goddamn time she had this just annoyed, why did you do that kind of look on her face? And it was her only emotion through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so many parts of this were ripped off from, oh, here's a part that really pissed me off. You have this Star Destroyer, which has been incapacitated.
Yep.
And so the rebels ram this tiny little ship into it. Turn on their thrusters,
by the way.
which doesn't explode on impact. And they slowly push the Star Destroyer into the other Star Destroyer, which immediately crumbles into a million pieces. What the fuck are the rebels using to build their ships out of? Because the Empire needs to get a hold of that metal.
I think it had something more to do with mass and gravity than it had to do with the materials being used.
They drove a ship into a much bigger ship that doesn't. They should have exploded immediately.
I don't know.
Don't argue with me.
Okay.
And then I did get to see the blind Asian dude.
Oh God, I hated that shit.
Was the dumbest shit.
So, just to I think I've said some of these things in the past, but when I walked out of the theater after seeing that, I couldn't remember the names of any characters except for the mains, and that's the girl and I think her dad, and the bad guy, because they were so unnecessary and just so useless. The other thing too was when the blind guy, the first thing he does is stick kill an entire legion of stormtroopers. I'm thinking to myself, there's nothing more for this guy to do. There's no surprises left. They should have held that off until the end of the fucking movie. They should have made him seem so vulnerable and so loopy that, Mr. Machine Gun Guy had to come save him a few times. Because as soon as you have him come out there and do that, he's a superhero. He's Daredevil. Yeah. He can't be hurt. Everybody on that team was a superhero. There was no sense that any of them had any vulnerabilities. There was no camaraderie. There was no teamwork. There was nothing. There was nothing to make me feel like I wanted to see these guys succeed. And so when they died, I felt nothing. It wasn't that I was like, oh, I'm glad they're dead. I didn't really have quite that bad. But I didn't care. Now, the one guy that showed promise early, but then just fell off the map was Cassian, the guy who was the agent with the droid. He at the very beginning of the movie, he kills a guy who was an innocent, just rebel sympathizer guy because he was weak and would probably give away his position, and he was just being Mr. Pragmatic agent in the field. And I thought, wow, this is pretty dark for a Star Wars movie. I want to watch more of this guy. And that was the only time he was ever interesting.
Yeah, I
liked the droid.
The droid was the best part. Of the team, in relative terms, the droid was the best part of the whole team.
Yeah, he was.
Cute. I like it when they make the droids cute.
He was cute? I don't think that's what they were going for.
That's what he was.
He was innocuous looking.
He was adorable.
He was pulled straight out of Knights of the Old Republic.
A little bit,
the assassin droid.
Well, he wasn't HK. No, he wasn't that bad.
Oh, come on.
He didn't say meatbags. He wasn't an assassin droid. No, they really. I hope they bring HK into some KOTOR TV series. That'd be amazing.
Why does Scribelight sound like Ray Romano from Everybody Loves Raymond?
Okay, I'm either Ray Romano or I'm Kermit the Frog. It's
I don't know what he sounds. I don't know what that person sounds like. So
he's got this really deep like voice, and he starts like, I don't sound like Ray Romano.
Well, he thinks that you do.
Well, Scotch is drunk on himself.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyway,
I'll let you two work that out.
I don't know how that works, but yeah, anyway. But the last 15 minutes, as far as just action and Star Wars-iness, was the best part of the whole movie. The space battle, where they slipped in characters from the original trilogy with unused footage from the filming of Star Wars New Hope. There was so many Easter eggs that were just fun for the nerd to spot. But what?
The end.
Which part
with Leia?
the end?
Well, I was like, just imply. Understand that we're not too stupid and that we know who it is.
Oh no, see, that was thrown in for the nerds. That was thrown in for those of us.
Yeah.
Star
No,
Wars
I know, but just imply it and just be like, so we can
Well-
all be like, oh shit, it's Leia, yo, and then leave it.
Well, I was surprised, honestly, when we first see Tarkin, we see him from the back. I thought
Mhm.
they're never going to show him from the front. You saw a little bit of
Mhm.
reflection of his face in the window, and I thought that's about as close as we're going to get. When he turned around, I mean, I didn't have any spoilers ahead of this movie, so when he turned around, I was like, oh shit, they went there. And so for the whole movie, I'm like, okay, this shot is really good looking. That one looks pretty bad. I was impressed with the amount of effort that, and I've seen some making of stuff since then. The amount of effort they went into to make that happen, very impressive. The end
Yeah.
result
Yeah.
is still a little shaky, but it's really cool.
Yeah, but the Leia, I felt like it was just an insult to your intelligence.
Which was
The Leia reveal, because you can just show me your dress and I know who it is.
they went to the effort. They're trying to place this within the same continuity as. I mean, the
Yeah, I know, but I thought it was a bad
it might have
idea.
been egregious, but I didn't mind it so much. I mean, it didn't look that great, but that was fine.
Well, it was just like make it a little bit more cinematic and poetic than just being like, here she is, you idiot. Like, all right, I get it.
Well, you got to remember the other thing that these movies do, aside from just placate to the Star Wars fans, is that they are advertisements for Industrial Light and Magic. So
Yes,
if they can
yes.
show off face replacement and recreation of younger versions of existing stars and stuff. I mean, did you happen to see Ant-Man by any chance?
Yeah.
Okay, so the opening scene where you've got Michael Douglas, who's been recreated to look like he did back in like 1987.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of technology.
Well,
and
and
that
they
kind
did
of
it
technology.
with they did it with Tony Stark and
Yeah, exactly. They made Robert Downey Jr. like looking like a teenager again from less than
yeah, but I
zero.
thought for the most part Grandma Tarkin looked pretty good.
Grandma Tarkin. Har, har, har. Yeah, no, he looked really good. The voice was shit, but he looked really good.
Thank you, Serenity Lotus. Yet implied rape in JJ was a bad thing. What the hell did I miss?
Jessica Jones.
Oh, haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With
No,
Leia at the
implied
end,
rape is shit.
wait. Somebody said Mon Mothma was face replaced. No, that was the actress from episode 2. Her scenes were cut. She was playing that character. That actress just looks a hell of a lot like the original actress that played Mon Mothma, and younger too. That wasn't any CGI.
Okay, I want to say what this about Leia. I had no problem with them showing her, but they shouldn't have had her speak because that was just stupid. And they really should have augmented her titties so they look like they used to, because those were sad. Those were a sad comparison.
I don't know. Do you remember? She wasn't that filled out in the original Star Wars.
No, but we got to see her run, and they bounced a lot.
Well, she was just standing still and whatever. Okay.
Well, they should have had her run for a little bit. Put her on a Baywatch beach.
Okay.
That was another problem I had. The end scene where the two mains die there.
Yeah.
That's like ripped off directly from Deep Impact.
Yeah, you're right.
Skaggles the Squirrel, Scribe, you do sound like Ray Romano. Thank you, Skaggles.
I'm gonna have to find some clips of Ray Romano and listen, because I don't think I'm anywhere near that kind of sort of deep, but I don't know, whatever.
I can kind of hear it, but no, I wouldn't say you sound like him.
I think I've heard him speak like 4
Well,
times.
it's
in my
weird
entire
because
life.
Monkey's voice is deeper than Scribe's.
It must be the tone.
Yeah, it's
or
also the sound
inflection.
though. It's not just being deep.
Okay. Well, I've never listened. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I never
just-
watched Everybody Loves Raymond, so I don't even know if I'm not doing an impression, is what I'm saying. It's not like I picked this up from somewhere. Anyway,
Somebody a little while back said they're making a new Knights of the Old Republic. Is that confirmed?
A game or what?
Well,
Game.
okay, so there is a team that is trying to recreate the Knights of the Old Republic in the, I believe, Unreal Engine, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
No.
Now, that's not a new Knights of the Old Republic game, but it will be a new version of the game.
I've never played the original game.
The original Knights of the Old Republic. Oh, you can get it for like
Yeah.
$5 off Steam.
great
It's totally
game.
worth it. Now, the Old Republic, the MMO, is supposedly sort of like on its downturn, and there has been rumors that they will come up with another KOTOR sequel. That may or may not be the open world-ish game that I think it's Visceral. Is it Visceral Games? Or I forget who it is. But anyway, There's an open world that's a game that's kind of supposed to be Fallout 4-esque in the sense that you're sort of over the shoulder third person running around doing whatever you want kind of thing, which I would love if that's true.
Yeah, my problem with the Knights of the Old Republic games is that they are so linear. I would love one made in a more open world.
Well, see, when they were made at the time, they were kind of restricted by both budget and time when they're in their development. KOTOR 1 had more freedom than KOTOR 2. KOTOR 2 was put out before it was done, and that's why there's so many patches and things.
BioWare games, and I love BioWare. BioWare games tend to be very linear.
Yeah.
Ever since, well, if you go back to the names forgot me. Anyway, as at least going back to Neverwinter Nights and from there on, which is where Knights of the Old Republic was built off of. I just really wish we could get an open world version of it.
See, the problem is that at least for KOTOR 1 and 2, and maybe for most Star Wars games, especially now after the sale to Disney, there's going to be some linearity to all of them, because when they make a game, like especially something like an RPG, if they decide to set it in the new canon, it can't inherently conflict with anything that's been established. So there's going to be boundaries all over the place in some way, shape, or form. And you can't do anything so earth-shattering in the game that would inherently conflict with the canon necessarily.
I really wish they would just go into the future. Fuck everything. I mean, we know what's happened right now. The Republic has been destroyed. Just stop.
They'll go into the past. They'll go into the past, if anything else.
Jump ahead 1,000 years. Start fresh. You can get all the characters you want.
Yeah, I'd rather go Old Republic, because at least then there's tons of freedom. It's all over the place. There's nothing that, I mean, whatever happened 3,000 years ago, who gives a shit? That seems more advantageous to me, but we'll see. The screenshots they've shown so far, which were probably just beta stuff or alpha stuff from the open world one, seem to imply that it was taking place either during the Empire with Palpatine and everything, or shortly after his death, maybe in between Jedi and the movies. It's hard to tell, but that might also just be test footage, and who knows.
Somebody asked who is better, Kirk or Picard. Picard, of course. He was the better captain.
Yeah, he was the better captain. Although I appreciate Kirk's swagger.
Oh yeah,
but Picard was the better captain by far. Better captain, better diplomat, just better overall.
Yeah, Kirk would have got his whole crew killed repeatedly.
Oh, and again, anybody who's a Star Trek fan, look up Star Trek Continues on YouTube. They're so good, so well done, and they fit so seamlessly into that style like the original series was.
What else you got, chat? We're listening to you now.
Yeah, we weren't listening to you before, but now we are.
Oh, I was listening. I just was pretending I wasn't.
Oh,
Does that sound better?
Do you hear chat? Because
I
you're hearing,
do.
wow, you have great ears.
Janeway, no.
No. You know why? Because she's a woman.
That's
No,
right.
I'm kidding. Now, if you want awesome female Star Trek characters, go to Deep Space Nine. A lot like Dax and Kira and those guys. I love those characters.
Janeway was just
You know that she was actually a replacement. The actress who played her. There was actually the original actress was some French Canadian like stage actress, and I guess she lasted all of 1 day or 2 days of shooting the original pilot before she said, "This isn't for me. I don't like television." She just walked off the set basically. And they had to hire Kate Mulgrew like on the spot kind of thing, and so it was like a last minute. You can find footage of her, the original captain's filming of the first episode out there somewhere, and it's. I will say that I can see. I'm kind of glad she walked off the set, because even if I don't think Janeway was the better captain, Kate Mulgrew was certainly the better actress.
Jersey Boy wants us to talk about Roaming's debate. I haven't watched it.
Roaming's debate with whom?
The one today.
What was it about?
She had some alt-writer, or I don't know who the fuck he is. So I think it was Computing Forever, what's his fucking name?
Dave Cullen.
Yeah. He posted on Twitter about that stream. How long until this proves Roaming Millennial is a white nationalist? So I'm not real sure what it was about, but sounds like it was interesting.
W.R. Costin says Jadzia or Ezra. Jadzia, the girl who played Dax in the later seasons. She was okay, but I mean, I like the actress who did Jadzia.
Dave Cullen is fucking retarded. Well, tell us what you really think.
Well,
Barrett.
was he being sarcastic? That sounds
yes,
like
he was
something...
it was a sarcastic remark.
Okay, I think that might be why people are saying that he's fucking retarded. Then they might.
Oh, Roaming Millennial and had millennial woes. Oh, that is a white nationalist.
Yeah. Oh man. Let's see what else we have in the news today.
Oh, I've got something that's short and interesting, I guess.
Sure, what's up?
Dup.
Excuse me?
Dup.
I'm not going to DAP. Fuck that. Charging Bull sculptor accuses New York City of violating his rights. The sculptor of Wall Street's Charging Bull statue is accusing New York City of violating his legal rights by allowing the Fearless Girl statue to be installed facing the bronze beast without his permission. Attorney Norman Siegel told the Associated Press that Arturo Di Modica will explain at a news conference Wednesday exactly how he's challenging city officials who issued a permit for the bronze girl to stay until February. Siegel said he's demanding that the city release documents showing what procedures were followed. Does he have some right to that territory?
What is even happening?
Oh, the Italian-born sculptor says the presence of Fearless Girl infringes on his own artistic copyright to the Charging Bull by changing the creative dynamic to include the other bold presence. Oh.
Is this just like some artist being like fucking serious and being that fucking retarded?
Not
or
necessarily,
is he
because
trolling?
I don't know. That's an interesting argument, because if you add an element to an artistic installation that seems to be both visibly and intentionally part of that installation, and you're not the artist, are you infringing on that person's right to the expression
Well, yeah, I
of their
guess
artwork?
because you would be changing the overall look of the piece.
Yeah, the
Thank
look,
you,
the
Mash.
meaning, and also the implication that it's part of the piece. So that is an interesting argument. I've never heard that one before. So I'll be interested to see if that goes anywhere.
Mash said that Roaming Stream was about race, culture, and white genocide.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah. I can see that argument, it changing, because it does look like it's part of the piece.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she's positioned to face the bull. She's made of the same material visibly. It looks like she's part of the message and the dynamic of the bull's presence, etc. That is an interesting argument. I don't know if that's ever been made before, but I'd be curious to see if that goes how high that goes into the legal system if it gets off the ground. Anyway, that was the little story I found.
They want us to talk about Ghost in the Shell. Haven't seen it. Don't give a shit.
The anime is excellent. I don't need to see a live action version because Disney is doing the same fucking thing, taking cartoons that are fine the way they are and turning them live action just to capitalize on classics that don't need to be touched. It's like doing a remake, because it is a remake of something that doesn't need to be remade, and it's a money grab. I don't care. I'm
just happy it's finally been released, so I don't have to hear about it anymore.
It's all whitewashing. Oh my God, Scarlett Johansson. See, here's the thing, all the people who complain about that kind of stuff. Movies like that have that much technical necessity to pull off visually, because Ghost in the Shell is not a cheap movie to make. The only way you get investment money, or any sense that somebody's going to put the money down to make a movie like that, is if you have a bankable star in the title role. And Scarlett Johansson is a bankable star. If she had not been on that bill, or someone bigger or better than she, the movie would not exist. So sometimes compromises have to be made for the cold, hard facts of the bottom line, and that's one of them. And if people can't understand that, I don't know what to tell you.
Do you think there would have been a huge backlash if they would have used a black actress?
No.
Jesus.
Do you think it would have been blackwashing?
That's an interesting question. I wish that it happened just to see what would have happened, but I couldn't say what the reaction might be. That might confuse people.
Someone asked a question. If I can answer it.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. Someone asked me if how my switch from math to political science has gone, and if it's full of ideologues. I haven't been in that many poli-sci classes yet. That'll start next semester. But so far, my government professor right now is fine, and the people who actually talk in class are like normal, not nuts people. So far, it's okay.
Since when do you have to ask permission to answer questions?
I didn't want you to yell at me.
No, dear. You have the dynamic backwards. You're the one who yells at me.
Well, I didn't want it to change.
Nice.
So, yeah. But I'll let you know how it goes because I'm taking several... what am I taking? I'm taking political theory and global issues next semester. So we'll see how it goes. I'm sure it'll be fine. Sure nothing could possibly go wrong.
Is that Mrs. Monkey in the background?
That is Mrs. Monkey.
Hi, Mrs. Monkey.
Scribe says hi. She said hi. She told me to tell you she said hi instead of just yelling hi.
Oh, well, that was awfully...
She don't want to talk to you.
That was awfully... What? How did I make her angry?
Oh. Dude, don't you know women? You don't have to make women angry for them not to want to talk to you.
Well, I know, but I thought she and I had a special relationship. I sang for her.
Scribe feels that you're growing apart.
Hi, Scribe.
There you go.
No, that's a little bit better.
SDA, what are your thoughts on the Chineses? Don't get her back on that.
Well, did you know that they actually made it illegal to eat doggos?
What? Why do people say doggo now? I've heard this just recently. Like, oh, doggo. Like, where did this come from? Why is this now a thing that people say?
I don't say it like on...
No, I'm not asking you. I'm asking the universe.
Okay.
I'm asking the universe why this is a thing that exists. Sort of like when somebody said BT dubs, and I just wanted to rip out their teeth. And like, stop talking.
Okay, well, I say that, but that's...
I know. Well, I can't reach your teeth from here.
Well, thank God, because I wouldn't have any left.
Yeah, well, I mean, all the two you have left. What are you gonna do?
I'm being abused. Somebody call the cops.
Edindra wants to know our thoughts on lying Jew. Is that a person, or
is that somebody's handle?
Are we slandering a whole class of people here?
Demographic, Monkey.
Yeah,
demographic.
There you go.
Not
Demographic.
class.
Thank you. What is BT dubs?
By the way, it is a slang way of saying.
Me?
No, I'm not. It is a slang way of saying BTW. By the way, BT dubs. So you say it like in the middle of a sentence, and then you continue on with whatever you're going to say. That's
okay. I need to address something.
Oh, do you know?
Because Serenity Lotus is arguing with Bay about my whole "we need to see the rape" thing. Here's the thing about Jessica Jones. Had they not shown us that Jessica Jones was forced to kill Luke Cage's wife, then I wouldn't have given a fuck and I wouldn't have felt bad for her. I mean, she was hard enough to feel bad for as it is. But it would be hard for the impact of that moment to be a thing.
Yeah, even that in the put up against everything else in that series that she said or did, even her being forced to kill that lady didn't make me empathize with her at all. And that's just me, but it might just be me.
But so in order to make the rape part actually impactful, you can't just have her yell, "Oh my God, you raped me." Like, you got to show something, like him being like, "You want to do the sex." They make out, cut to black. That would have been enough.
Yeah, I don't disagree that it would have upped the justification for some of her yuck if they'd shown a bit more of what he made her do. I won't deny that. All the same, even if they had, again, stacked up against everything else she was doing, it's Like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, you were treated badly. Not
I
going to
mean,
deny it.
she was
but
a
still.
shitty character, but in order to convince me that she was treated really badly, you have to show me.
Right.
It's a show versus tell thing. You can't just be like, hey, this huge impactful thing happened to me. Anyway, what's going on? Did you want to...
Nash wants to know Scribe's opinion on the upcoming Transformers movie, but before I let him answer that, I finally watched the trailer for that yesterday.
Mhm.
And oh dear sweet social justice, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What? I haven't seen the trailer.
Oh, watch it. It is
So the one I saw.
Oh, fuck, I did see it.
Okay. Yeah. So for those that haven't seen it, in summer, it depends on which trailer you're watching. There's a couple out now, but the one that gets all the attention is the one where you have this spunky little girl showing off for the boys as to how brave and everything that she is. Yada yada
I
yada.
hit like a girl, don't you?
Yeah.
No,
Exactly.
I hit like a man, bitch. I will knock you down.
Right. And so it's very. Look at me, I'm a girl and I'm tough and I'm unlike all the other girls because I'm tough. And the boys are like, whoa, you're like a tough girl and I'm such a weakling. And like, okay, this sort of forced pandering, like there's nothing interesting about this character already except that, oh, she's a girl with an attitude.
Yeah.
And that is original how.
Oh no. Girl with a feminist attitude.
Yeah, and
because that whole
yeah.
trailer is her. It could have been a feminist YouTube channel making that stupid shit.
Yeah, and I talked about this when I was doing my little review of The Fall and relating it to Jessica Jones. And this seems to be the pattern. The way you make a strong female character is to write a male role and give it to a female actress, or a female actor, an actress, whatever. You know what I mean? And then
clarify female and actress these days because we have women.
This is true. Anyway, so when I see things like this that are just sort of obviously pandering and obviously going like, look at me, I'm a strong girl in the literal sense rather than maybe a character sense, I just get turned off. And not because it's a girl. It's got nothing to do with that. It's just because like in your face, oh, by the way, if you didn't realize it. And so as far as,
all about her being a girl.
Right. There's nothing else interesting about her except she's a girl with an attitude. Girl with an attitude. Tell me one more time that she's a girl with an attitude. Don't give me any depth. Don't give me any meaning otherwise. Have everybody who's around her just fawning over the fact that she's a girl with an attitude. Just keep going with that. That'll make me a real happy audience goer. Real there.
Someone asked about 13 Reasons Why, and I want to address it because...
So tell people what that is first, because some people might not know.
Oh, how the fuck do I describe this? It's okay. So here's what happened. The main character is a girl.
No. Tell people what it is first. It's a Netflix series, right?
Oh yeah, it's a Netflix series based on a book.
Right. Okay.
And the main character has audio tapes left by a girl who fucking killed herself. And you just listen to the tapes and you find out the 13 reasons why she killed herself. And as a teenager, as a depressed, fucked up teenager, I read the book. And I thought it was the best thing ever because it was like so poetic and oh my God, this person really gets how I feel. And now that I'm older and not depressed and not stuck in that mindset, it's the fucking dumbest shit on the planet because it glorifies the hell out of suicide. And it pisses me off.
My sister watched it and said it was awesome, and I was like, okay. I'm never going to watch it, so I don't really care. It just looked like some kind of like overhyped teen drama thing.
So, yeah, it pisses me off because, you know, this person essentially leaves like this super long suicide note, you know, in the form of a Walkman, whatever, like a bunch of tapes. And essentially you just go around and find out that, I think it's like there was some rumor that like she did the sex with somebody, but she didn't. And so the feminists are like what Bay said, that they're glorifying slut shaming. But like I said, the bigger issue to me is that it glorifies suicide.
Like it's a sweet revenge kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And this is kind of like what we talked about when the girl live streamed her suicide on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How the only reason why you would do that in that moment is to get attention for the suicide and to be seen as like this poetic way out.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what it is.
I know. So without any details, someone that I knew personally killed themselves. And it was discovered afterwards that their motivation in doing so may have been in part to upset someone else who they were mad at, whose brother had killed themselves a few months earlier.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah,
It's a very complicated and convoluted story, and I'm only getting half of it from people that I know. And but some of the circumstances and the what I knew about the person that killed themselves made me think that it might be plausible. And that is just like, I cannot think of a more selfish act in the world than killing yourself out of spite or something, or killing yourself for revenge.
Oh,
I mean,
another thing about this case. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, if someone is killing themselves because they have a terminal disease, like they're suffering, okay, I can empathize with that. Or like a family member does it, Dr. Kevorkian kind of stuff. I can empathize with that. There's a lot of horrible things that can happen to you that you have no control over. But killing yourself as an act of spite, I can't think of anything lower. And the other thing is that after it's done, you escape any responsibility for it. You just leave all the devastation behind you, anybody who cared about you or whatever. So my memory of this person is obviously forever sullied by the fact that the last thing they did was just hurt everybody around them.
Well, the thing, so the main character, Clay, who is the person that is listening to the tapes and is the person that you actually follow in the book, in the whole thing, she's like, I'm sorry, and all this kind of stuff. Like, I never wanted to hurt you, whatever. This isn't your fault because you were the one who was nice to me, all that kind of junk. And I think somebody can correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, because it's been a while since I've read the book. But I think she sends the tapes to everybody that she blames.
That's what I took from the trailer. Maybe
that's what it looks like, yeah, from the trailer.
Yeah. So she sends them to like all these people in this chain of events, and then finally sends it to like the one who she considers to be like the one friend that she had, and he gets essentially the full story. So what she's doing is she's sending these tapes to people to be like, hey, here's what you did to make me off myself.
Right.
When in reality, what really happened was nothing more than, high school rumors that don't really matter, if that makes sense.
How, you see, this, I don't understand this thinking that this is what you did to make me kill myself. You got me.
Well, that's why it
punishing
pisses
me
off. That's why it pisses
I want
me
to
off
address
so
something
much.
said in chat, and this is going to be serious about suicide. So this is one of the few times I will give you an actual trigger warning, because I'm about to get a little serious on you. The statement says only people who have never attempted suicide say it's selfish.
I've attempted suicide.
I was 14 years old when my older brother killed himself. He took whatever pain he was in and put that on everyone else. That is the most selfish fucking thing you can do. Kiss my ass. Sorry. We can continue.
So I attempted suicide. And yeah, the destruction that you leave behind is absolutely selfish. Sorry. I get it, because in order to be that low, you have to be in a whole lot of fucking pain. But yeah, it's still selfish.
Yeah, I tried offing myself a couple times when I was younger, and the most recent one was in relative terms not that long ago, maybe like 7 or 8 years ago. I've struggled with depression and anxiety and a whole bunch of other shit over the course of my life, and I've been some really, really low places. I've thankfully got much better since then. For me, it was almost like, I don't know if this makes any sense. It was sort of like I was so low that I had to bring myself to the edge to remind myself how pointless it was to do it, if that makes sense. It was sort of like the ultimate act of catharsis, attempting it and trying to release all that stuff into this perpetual supposed final act.
Yeah.
I understand that sounds completely fucked up, and it is. And this is not an endorsement to anybody to do that or to try to copy me or anything. This is how I processed it. And yeah, but it is a horrible place to be. And like I say, I've had family members and let's say associates who have been in health situations where I could completely understand why they did what they did. There's a difference between doing something out of a momentary emotional sort of outburst, so to speak, or just being depressed and not actively seeking help, versus someone who has nowhere to go but down, against their own better judgment. So anyway.
Yeah, and in the show, essentially what it's glorifying is her she premeditates all of this stuff, makes these tapes, plans that once she's dead, she's going to send them all out to these people to essentially tell them why she offed herself. And so it's glorifying that whole process of blaming other people for you killing yourself.
Okay, and we're going to switch topics here.
Yeah, let's.
But shit, I don't have any.
Well, I can come up with a couple.
Oh, I went to the store with Grand Monkey today.
Uh-huh.
She has an obsession with vacuums. We have to go down the vacuum aisle every time we go.
What is it about vacuums?
That's adorable.
I don't know. She just loves them. And I actually saw they have this little $20 or $40 vacuum that's it's a little tall for her. But I thought, I'm going to buy her that, plug it in, and just let her have fun and clean my house at the same time.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I could get Mrs. Monkey to go for that, though. Letting a child play with a...
No, she's right there. Ask her.
Oh, no, she just went to bed.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Mrs. Monkey.
I did get a new recording of her saying ranting monkey. I don't know how well it turned out, if it's going to... if you're going to be able to hear the ranting anymore or any better, but we'll see.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because the other one, you can't hear the ranting part.
But I love how she goes, monkey!
Monkey!
Yeah.
How old is Grand Monkey? She turned 2 on Saturday. And she rules my house. What stories did you, or what things did you have, Scribe?
Well, I don't know. Do you want to talk about DC movies?
Sure. Yeah.
Like movies from Washington, D.C.?
Yes, movies from
Suicide wasn't depressing enough. Let's talk about DC movies.
Yeah. So there's rumors abounding right now about 2019, not 2018, but 2019. But 2019 may be, quote unquote, the year of the bat.
Is this the 4 movie thing?
Yeah, so there's a rumor that there's 4 Batman-related movies coming out in 2019. Not only the solo Batman picture, but also potentially the Batwoman picture or Batgirl picture. There's also...
Is there a difference between Batgirl and Batwoman?
Yes.
Age
and identity.
Does Batgirl become Batwoman, or are they just like two different...
They were separate characters.
Oh.
Black Girl would be the best superhero ever.
Black Girl.
No, it wasn't black. It was Blatt.
Blatt.
Oh,
okay.
Anyway, I just fucked up.
So yeah, Batman movie, Batgirl movie, a Nightwing movie, and there was also the Batman-related film of the Gotham City Sirens, which is sort of like Catwoman, Harley Quinn, and Poison Ivy, I think, all sort of teaming up to do stuff.
I can't believe that DC movies even get approved for anything.
Well, so the rumor is, supposedly, that there is someone has finally taken the reins to say, here's how we're going to establish this universe, and we're going to use Batman as the center of it, sort of like Iron Man was for Marvel in the beginning. So
didn't they already make Superman the center, or are they like
Superman didn't
regroup?
No, people didn't come to see Superman in Man of Steel. They came to see Batman in Batman v Superman. Batman is a far more compelling character overall than Superman ever was, really. And Batman's made a lot more money. People want to see Batman movies. They're not so keen on Superman movies.
Well, Superman is almost he's the blind guy from Star Wars.
Yes.
He's just too powerful, and they never had a villain for him. Well, not never, but in the early years, they never had a villain worthy of Superman.
Well, here's the thing. So, in conjunction with all that, the rumor is the Man of Steel 2 movie, which will actually be the sequel to the first Man of Steel movie after the interlude that was Batman v Superman and I guess Justice League. Anyway, the villain is supposedly going to be Black Adam, The Rock's character. Now,
no idea who that is.
Okay, so Black Adam is classically an enemy of Shazam, or Captain Marvel, as he used to be known in the DC universe before Marvel retained the copyright of that name. So if Superman's going to fight Black Adam before Black Adam fights Shazam, that's really weird. For any comic book nerds out there, you understand that that's kind of weird. There's also been a rumor that the Shazam movie's been canceled or moved back so far that it's not going to matter. So there's still a lot of craziness going on at DC, but with Joss Whedon apparently coming on to do Batgirl, there's some notion that the control of continuity will be handed to him in the Bat universe and so on, which might not be a bad idea to give someone who knows what they're talking about the ability to dictate what happens where.
Somebody who makes a good, compelling visual story. Yeah, not a bad idea.
Yeah, exactly. So what else we got?
The Coon is my favorite hero. I love that the first episode where the Coon popped up. That's such a great episode. I love South Park in general, but yeah, one of my favorite episodes.
Okay, Edomite, tell you what, I won't talk any more superhero movies just because you are annoyed. No more. Okay? There you go.
Always superhero talk. We don't always talk superhero movies. We actually went like 3 whole streams without movies at all. We don't get any credit for the pain we go through.
Yeah. I mean, the restraint we demonstrate in not talking about the things we probably prefer to and would feel much more comfortable doing so. I mean, we just went off on suicide for half an hour. Can we have a little bit of,
which, to be fair, was much less depressing.
Than
Yes,
DC movies.
Yeah, DC movies are a bit more depressing than suicide, I suppose.
They really are.
I hope some exec at DC hears that.
For some reason, when I was driving to the store today, I was thinking of Revenge of the Nerds again and thinking, do you realize that the guy who played the dad in Revenge of the Nerds has a fucking Oscar?
Yes.
And Lewis has a Emmy. The people who came out of that movie, usually a movie like that, they just disappear forever. Or maybe you get a Steve Guttenberg who gets a couple more movies, but usually they just go away.
Oh, Steve Guttenberg.
I miss Steve Guttenberg.
Did somebody say Guttenberg?
Not that Guttenberg.
Well,
thanks, Diz.
Whoever he is doesn't matter. There can only be one Guttenberg.
And that would be Steve Guttenberg.
No.
Yes.
Hey, he got Wilford Brimley to go hang out with aliens. How do you top that? Thank you, Noah.
Exactly.
Who's Wilford Brimley?
Oh my God.
Go away.
That hurts.
Go away.
You need to go watch Cocoon.
What's Cocoon?
Cocoon or The Thing? You want to see Wilford Brimley be a badass? Go watch John Carpenter's The Thing.
What's The Thing?
It's a movie. First, we're going to do Cocoon. Cocoon is the best movie ever featuring old people. Maybe Grumpy Old Men might.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But Grumpy Old Men was meant to be funny, and Cocoon was just old people suddenly bathing in alien goo.
Yeah. Don't see Cocoon 2. That's a waste of time.
No, that was horrible.
Yeah, the second one sucked, but the first one's decent.
But yeah,
or batteries not included. That's also good.
Oh, I hated that movie.
You don't like that movie?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I didn't like the little robots. They looked chintzy and cheap.
Movie. Well, okay.
I'm just saying, I have my preferences.
I see that. You don't like cute robots. Okay.
They're not
That's
cute.
Gaysist.
Gaysist? What the hell are you talking about?
It's what they should have called homophobia.
Oh, yeah, they really
Gaysist.
I think it's better than being like, you're homophobic.
Spill Audio is apparently trying to cut his or her, I'm not sure, hair during the stream. That's weird.
Pixar didn't happen. I don't even know what hair is. It long or is it? I don't even.
Well, it said, "Motherfucker, I just tried to cut a little of my own hair and ended up snipping my earbuds."
Oh, well, that's hilarious.
Is SDA a 90s kid? I was born in 97.
Yeah, she wasn't a 90s kid. She was a 2000s kid.
2000s.
And
or the aughts. What do you want to call it? The aughts?
Wait, he was cutting his pubes? That's a weird way to cut your earbuds.
We've established that I haven't seen movies. I haven't even seen any of the Terminator movies.
Any of them?
Just watch the first one.
You don't like the second? Oh, that's right. You don't like the second one, right?
I didn't like the second one. I think the
that's gay
tone of the first one was lost in the second one. The first one had that, even though it wasn't set in a dystopian world, it had that dystopian feel about it.
Well, it was the 80s.
Well, yeah, plus they had a much smaller budget.
Yeah.
T2 had such a fucking huge budget.
Well, yeah, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I just thought it kind of killed the whole mood of the series.
The way I look at the first two Terminator movies is sort of like how I look at the first two Alien movies. They're both set in the same universe. They both have completely different tones and feels to them, but they are good continuations from one to another. I mean, the first Terminator movie, I think it was the Angry Video Game Nerd. He made the comment that if you watch the first Terminator movie, the club where we first see the Terminator go after Sarah Connor is called Tech Noir. And that is sort of like that's the genre that movie fits into, because it is really a sort of cyberpunk / sci-fi noir film, the way it's set up.
Holy shit. Wait, worst Ed am I ever? Thank you so much. You didn't really offend us. We were just fucking with you.
I was just joking, dude. But hey, thanks. That'll go into that'll go to Monkey's anti-smoking fund, right? You can go an hour. You can go an hour without smoking. I mean, look at this. People, $30, $50. You can go an hour and a half or more without smoking, right?
You say that, but after I'm done with this, I have to edit, and that's when I do it the most.
Well,
this is a true story, guys. Last night, when we ended, I still had time left, so I stayed up long enough to have a cigarette legally before I went to bed. Which luckily,
you did wait. You did wait.
I did. It was only a few minutes, but
I figured you would. Yeah.
That was hard because I was so tired.
Okay, well then how about this? If you can't do it after this, shall we start carrying this over into the beginning of tomorrow night's stream?
We can do that.
Okay, so he gets to have a cigarette before we go live tomorrow, but at least for the length of the stream and whatever overflow is thereafter, 180 minutes, or sorry, 80 minutes. So
180 minutes. Fuck you.
Yeah, no, hold on. I misspoke. I settle down, addict. It's okay.
You realize this means we're not streaming tomorrow, right?
Yeah, an hour and 20 minutes. An hour and 20 minutes tomorrow. So at least the bulk of the stream if we go the usual 2 hours.
Yeah, we're not streaming.
Now we'll stream.
Yeah.
Maybe. Oh, I have an MRI tomorrow. Fuck.
An MRA?
MRI.
Oh, I'm on Friday.
Yeah.
Oh
my God.
Streaming with Angry MGTOW.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Why are you doing that?
Is it going to be a debate, just you and he?
Tell him I said hi.
No. Does he not like you?
He hates me.
All right.
He got mad because I made a video.
I'll tell him you're my BFF. He'll love that.
I made a video about him, and in that video, I actually used like 5 or 6 of his videos. And instead of linking each of the fucking videos, I just linked to his channel. And he got mad about it and told me he was going to flag me for it. And I told him to go fuck himself. And I also threatened that if he did that, I would contact the copyright holders of the images he uses.
Oh.
And yeah, then he gave me 2 hours to comply. And this is the longest 2 hours of my fucking life because it's still going on.
Mm-hmm.
And every once in a while, he will pop into one of my videos or comment where I've commented and mention it. I mean, he is still that butthurt over it. And to me, it makes me laugh because really?
I don't know why he wants to talk to me.
Oh, he invited you. I was about to ask how this all came about.
Oh, he invited me. He tweeted me. He was like, hey, follow me back so we can DM about streaming.
Ask him about his mom.
And I was like, I will. No, I don't know why he wants to talk to me. I'm not going to be nice to him.
Is it just going to be you and him though?
I don't know. I think so. Well, and then he tried to strong arm me into doing it today or tomorrow. And I was like, I got shit to do. And he was like, I don't like Fridays. And I was like, well, we can do it Friday or not at all.
He's trying to use you for your resources.
Yeah, I know.
No,
He's been going around collecting anti-SJW women on his channel.
No,
I know.
What you should do is make part of the deal. Like, yeah, sure, I'll talk to you. You have to do it on my channel though, so I get the revenue.
Yeah, no shit.
That might actually be a good idea.
That'd be my compromise. It's like, yeah, sure, I'll start the stream and you can come on.
I just have one question I want you to ask him for me. Because he made a video maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe a month ago. I forget. It's been a while since I checked.
You're right. I'm doing this on my channel.
Very
Sorry.
good.
You just changed my mind.
He made a video telling everybody how much money he needs because he's gonna whatever. I want you to ask him if MGTOW's working out so well, where the fuck all his resources went.
Well, that's the thing. How come all these fucking MGTOWs are so poor?
Well, they're not if you listen to their videos. Sandman has one up where he will actually teach you how to make lots of money as a MGTOW.
Oh, so it's like a pyramid scheme.
It basically is, yeah.
Right.
I fucking love MGTOW. And this, for the record, I do want to, because we had One Ton Hammer on the other day, and I do make a different, I see a difference between somebody. I know you don't. I'm not talking. Not everything is about you.
Yes, it is.
Oh, God.
You're just going to turn people MGTOW. Now stop it. Somebody like One Ton Hammer who isn't, I'm going to wait for society to collapse around me, which is what Sandman actually wants to happen. And those who just don't want to take the chance of getting fucked by the legal system. I get the difference.
There's a okay, here's the thing. You can want to not get married and not get fucked by the system without identifying as MGTOW. If you identify as MGTOW, you know what you did, you know who you're identifying with, and you deserve whatever scrutiny you get because you're like, these are my people. I don't agree with them, but they're my people. Oh, so they're not your people? No, they're my people. All right, then I'm going to judge you as though they're your people. That's how I feel.
And that's fine for you. I see a difference, and I do recognize that there's levels there.
Whew, that's like a feminist being like, you know what? Like, there's problems, but like, I'm still a feminist, and I still identify that way.
Well, I have no problem with Camille Paglia calling herself a feminist because I believe she is one, and I see a huge difference between her and Christy fucking Winters. Yeah, it's not fap in the woods. It's them beating off in the woods. And they don't beat off. They use a fleshlight because they're into the android women. They really want android robots that look like women that they can program to act how they want to.
You're all just a bunch of fucking retards with mommy issues.
When I talk about the MGTOWs, I am addressing the craziest of the group, those like Angry MGTOW. Who,
they're all crazy.
Let's be honest. He just hates his mom. He has mommy issues. I don't know what his mom did to him because he won't talk about it, but I really hope you ask him.
Oh, I will. I'll be like, so what happened? What's wrong with you? How come nobody wants to sit on your dick?
Says Angry is not MGTOW. He claims the title, and that's a fight you two need to have.
Yeah, you should. Like, this is the thing, like if you're just concerned about not getting fucked over by the legal system, why go your own way with a bunch of other people? Why tie yourself to a movement full of fuckheads? Why would you do that? That's your fault.
You be nice. You are so cruel. How many men have you turned MGTOW?
I don't know. I'll call them and ask.
You should. Find out if any are. I want to know. And if they are, I want to bring them on the stream.
No.
Scribe, are you still with us?
Yep, just letting you guys talk.
Because
I don't have much to say about MGTOW.
You guys missed this the other day. Before the stream started, Scribe said he had to go to the bathroom, and I could hear him singing. Scribe sings when he pees. And the reason I bring this up, yeah, really.
You didn't tell me
that. The reason I bring this up is because I do it too, and I felt this connection with you.
Oh, did you hear what I was singing? I don't even remember what I was singing.
I couldn't tell what you were singing, but
okay.
Yeah, you were definitely singing.
Okay.
Who else?
Well,
Who
I was
else
also
sings?
singing.
in the
I
key?
generally sing around the apartment when I'm going from place to place. Like I was getting a drink or something. I think I was singing. I just, kill the time.
Yeah, I don't go to the toilet to sing.
Right. Exactly.
What song? I don't know what song. I could only tell he was singing. I couldn't hear the lyrics.
I'd have to think about what it was. There's not like
What would
one
be the
song
most
I think. Yeah.
inappropriate song to sing while peeing?
The most inappropriate song.
Yeah.
The most.
We did not cross our streams. We're not even in the same state.
No. Inappropriate. I'd have to.
Well,
think
when you do that, make sure you video it and put it on Pornhub.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I was thinking about making a Pornhub account to put my non-author stuff on there too, and maybe put more explicit stuff on there. Not like
could.
videos, but like just like readings or subject matter.
Do you sing when you pee, SDA?
No.
She can't sing.
Do you
Yeah,
pee in
I
the shower,
can.
SDA?
Oh, you can sing? Sing something.
No.
I want to poll the audience. How many of you pee in the shower? Type 1 if you pee in the shower. This is interesting to me because I pee in the shower, guys, and my wife does not, and she was offended the first time we took a shower together. And I didn't pee in the shower. I just mentioned peeing in the shower. She's like, "That's gross." I'm like, "It's going down the drain with all the water."
I know what song to sing when you're peeing, or what inappropriate, maybe.
Oh, what's that?
Don't Rain on My Parade.
Oh, there you go. Nice. Cool. Lots of shower peers. Thank you. I love you guys. I feel less alone right now. Jesus Christ, you all pee in the shower. You're gross. I was just kidding.
If they type 2, are they saying they
No, I'm
shit in the shower?
Yes,
Oh my God.
I do actually pee in the shower. Oh man, those people who don't like me talking about my dick are really going to be upset by this one. See, I managed to mention my dick again.
Yeah, you did that to yourself, by the way.
What's that?
Mention your dick.
I like mentioning my dick.
I've noticed this.
Thank you, Travis. SDA made me MGTOW. Send me a link to the stream, please. Oh, that's beautiful. I wouldn't do it. I'm making a point of doing it every stream now just because somebody got upset by it. No, my dick is not broken. It still works.
I thought you couldn't feel anything.
No, it's not that I can't feel anything. I can still feel. It's just very reduced.
Does that mean that you last longer?
Yes.
Probably makes
To the point where I'm like,
Monkey happy.
yeah, fucking, I'll do it later. Oh, man. We want the monkey dick. I appreciate that. As long as you don't touch the monkey butt.
Yeah, we already determined that.
What if you get
what else we
them
got?
mixed up?
What else we got?
No, you can't. I will slap your hand.
How do I follow up after like peeing tests and like don't touch the monkey dick?
No, not don't touch the monkey dick. You're confusing things.
I apparently I am.
So everybody can touch the monkey dick?
Well, not
Paying
everybody.
attention.
But it can be touched. That's the thing. Yeah, I think it's probably time to end this. Because, yeah, we've gone someplace horrible. Fake news.
What do you mean,
yes.
we, white man? Jesus.
You did not
You're the one who
stop
talked about,
me
like,
now, did you?
You pee in the shower?
Markov is in the chat. We have a MGTOW.
I thought
We have a
already
couple
had
MGTOWs in the chat.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't automatically treat One Tongue Hammer like he was cancerous or something. So
Oh, yeah, that's right. We have a
we're
MGTOW
friendly.
who doesn't know how to MGTOW properly.
You be nice. I actually like talking with One Ton
Well,
Hammer.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
One Tongue
he's
was
not
fine.
actually a MGTOW. He just thinks he is because he's silly.
Oh no.
So if I bring him on, you're gonna someday, not right now. You're gonna sit there
Yeah.
and argue with him whether.
No, I would. I would be like, okay, if you're not going to be fucking crazy, then why would you identify with crazy people? That's like being like, I'm a peaceful Muslim and I just pray 5 times a day and don't do anything. Also, I'm part of ISIS. Don't be ridiculous.
And
Okay.
I can't think of a better place to end. Don't be ridiculous, guys. Chat, thank you guys so much for coming. Scribe, SDA, thank you as always. Your life makes me sad. I will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.